All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Artemis Javanshir, and I am a member of California's Zoroastrian Center Public Relations Committee, or PR. Welcome to today's talk by Dr. Khosro Esfandiar Mehrfar. PR was established in 2020, and we share information about Zoroastrian school of thought and culture, connect newcomers to the community resources, and welcome all interested in Zoroastrianism. Just a few housekeeping rules before we begin. Please make sure you are muted as the session is being recorded. Also, please type your questions in the chat and we will get to them during the Q&A part of the talk. It is my pleasure today to introduce our speaker, Dr. Khosro Esfandiar Mehrfar. Dr. Mehrfar was born in Tehran, Iran. He moved to the US in 1979 to pursue higher education. He earned his master's in 1982 and PhD in civil engineering with emphasis in computer simulation and systems modeling of energy, environment, and natural resources from the University of Akron, Ohio. While at university, he led a team of engineers for the 3D design of NASA's underground wind tunnels at Lewis Research Center. Later, he designed and implemented a GIS computer for Public Utilities Commissions of Ohio under Richard Sellis and current co-chair of Homeland Security Project at Century Foundation. After completing graduate school, he moved to California and started working for the Los Angeles office, Bechtel Corporation, an engineering and construction management company, and became manager of automation on Bechtel's Disney MGM Studios theme parks project in Paris. He started his own company, Mehr US Corp, and his interest in alternative, sustainable, clean energy led him to be part of a spin-off company dedicated to solar energy. Dr. Mehrfar is a mentor at the University of California, Irvine, merger of School of Business for MBA graduates. He was selected as one of the 25 most influential Zoroastrians by Fezana. He is the author of many articles and has been interviewed by local, national, and international TVs and radios on cultural and environmental issues. He lives in Orange County, California, with his lovely wife, Roya, and their family. Dr. Mehrfar, we are honored to have you as our speaker, and we eagerly await your talk. The floor is yours.
The honor is all mine. Artemis John, thank you so much for the bio. And I'm also very thankful, in fact, grateful to California Zoroastrian Center and the Public Relations Committee and all the organizers for giving me this opportunity today, this privilege, basically, to be among all of you and learn from you through sharing of information during the session or afterwards. That picture of mine, I should say, really, even though I selected it, I couldn't recognize myself. That was like 200 years ago. Much younger me, and it's the power of time that changes things, which is part of our discussion today. Greetings, everybody. I am honored to be with you, with this great distinguished committee, which has great goals and already some achievements in mind. A couple of things before I share my information, my data with you guys. One thing very critical and very important right from the start is that anything that I say that comes from me today, question it. I mean, that's the whole core of the topic today. Do not take whatever I say today because it may be proven wrong tomorrow. Things that I share with you that I have learned from other people is different because I am just quoting first-hand witness, of course, what I have heard, what I have seen, what may have learned with you guys. But anything I say, I would like to be skeptical, and please do question it. Don't take it as is. Like I said, it might be proven wrong tomorrow. As interestingly, we are going now, as of 2 weeks ago, that even the Big Bang might have not been correct, and we are living in a white hole, which is continuation of a big black hole that this whole universe is inside. Found out by JW, the Webb station telescope out there in space. From that scale all the way down to this scale, be skeptical. In fact, if I can make some kind of analogy, let's say that the thought process is a rocket to discover other world, other civilization, other intelligence. The engine of that rocket to me is skepticism. Without critical questioning of things, that rocket would go nowhere. And where we are, starting with the Industrial Revolution, mostly has been um, founded on questioning even the facts. So, as Zarathustra said very wisely in his timeliness, ever fresh, ever last messages, um, put a question in front of anything until you, with your own wise mind, believe that it is true. Okay, now I had two ways, actually, for myself, I thought, to present today to you, audience, dear friends. One was, as it was titled, talk, speech, lecture. The other one was just sharing information, as I mentioned. And I decided to do the second way. I think it's friendlier, it's more cozy, it may be more effective, and we want to kind of stay away in the week during the weekends from the academia type of lectures and speech and talk. So forgive me if I'm very simple talking about these critical topics. Three reasons I had to choose this topic when the PR approached me and invited me for today. Um, Diverse reasons, but somehow related. The first reason for me was IBM and the experience I had one cold winter, 1979, my first course, graduate school back east, numerical analysis. And our professor, Dr. Price, which was actually a Texan, at that time wanted us to do the homework all by programming, computer programming, software engineering, application development. And my exposure actually to computer science started from there, even though my background educational is engineering. So we had to do a lot of these homeworks, writing Fortran language, formula translation, which was the most popular computer language at the time. And there was only IBM. At that time, we had IBM mainframe, or MDAL, the competition of IBM, also another mainframe manufacturing. In our university, we had IBM 37158, and then they changed it to another newer model, 3033U, blah, 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 raised platforms. Some of you may have seen it with a deck of 2,000 cards, with a comma missed. We have to give it back to the I/O window to process the program. Very cumbersome compared to now. So the evolution of the science, basically, all by questioning things. So during making those homeworks or doing those homeworks for this class and other classes that came afterwards, I got to know a bit about IBM, and then the founder of IBM, Thomas Watson, Mr. Tom Watson. And I found out then that in his office, a man who created IBM small company made it international business machine, um, and then CEO of the IBM for a long time. There was nothing on his wall when you enter his office, nothing on his wall except for one painting right behind him on his wall on top of his head. So anybody who entered his office could see him, and then that one thing on top of his head on the wall. That thing on the wall was, like I said, a painting, a regular size painting, um, with a white background, a white simple paper. And on that paper, there was only one word: think. That was it. And maybe this, I don't know, I'm speculating, the very first laptops that came from IBM very early on in the late 80s, I think, was ThinkPad. The name was ThinkPad, which I think still continues. So the power of the word basically was the motivation for his people. In some of the books that refer to him, and in one book that he wrote, he bring the power of the word think to inspire his people. And we know the Gathas of Zarathustra, at the core of it, it's hymns of thought-provoking messages, thought-provoking messages. How nice that the founder of IBM was thinking the same as Zarathustra was thousands of years ago. The second reason that I picked up this topic was the Holy See and its capital in Vatican, the powerful Holy See of the Catholicism. And we will find out how that is related to this word later on. So, but before that, the third reason was obviously AI. These days, all AI. So, a couple of weeks ago, I told myself, let me ask AI what AI thinks about think. So I just posed this simple question to AI: what do you think of think? Tell me about it. I'm going to read now word by word, verbatim, because I don't want AI to sue me that I misquoted it. So this is what I'm reading is exactly what AI said. By the way, there are 6 major AI engines right now, but 5 of them are really the children, not the grandchildren, but the children of the granddaddy of all. And I only use the granddaddy of all, which seems much more not only intuitive, but knowledge-based at a wider level. They are all on based on LLM, large language modeling, and most of them use Python as the development language. That's the only commonality. But the other 5 came from this big granddaddy of all, and that's the one I'm talking to, and that's the one I'm going to read from what he told me about think. AI said think is a powerful acronym to explore. Here is a way you could break it down. Then he goes by the letter, which was kind of surprising to me. It says T for truth. Encourage your audience to seek the truth in all situations. Discuss the importance of honesty and integrity in decision-making process. Resonates with mantra of Zarathustra. Honesty and integrity and truth. H, help. Highlight the value of helping others and being of service. You could share stories or examples where helping others led to positive outcomes. Good deeds resonates to mantra of Zarathustra. I, inspire. Talk about the importance of inspiring and motivating others. Share how inspiration can lead to innovation and positive change. Think Tom Watson, inspiration, and maybe Mantra Zarathustra. N, notice, emphasize the importance of noticing details. Quote unquote, that's the word I am adding, awareness, being aware. Well, it says being aware of your surroundings and paying attention to the needs of others. Resonates Zarathustra. And the last letter K, knowledge, stress the importance of continuous learning and self-awareness. Encourage your audience to always seek knowledge. So that was the version that AI responded back to me. The core of my sharing information today now comes to this third one, which is the Vatican, and being a first-hand witness of something very interesting to me, very telling, very thought-provoking. And if I hadn't heard it from this man, this leader, philanthropist, very famous Zoroastrian of 20th and 21st century, and for the lack of better words, I'm going to call him Grandpa for simplicity too, and the interest of time, the Grandpa. So Roya and I were invited to his daughters and his son-in-law dinner party in Del Mar about 25 years ago. The guests were called to go for dinner inside, and it was a kind of cold evening. I stood up to go with him inside, then he pulled my hand down. I said, sit down, I want to tell you something. It's okay. He said it was in the 60s that Iran was really progressing and moving up. And it was a talk that Pope Paul VI was thinking about opening a new office in Vatican to expand the communication between the Holy See all over the world and different nations, different countries, different religions. It's open communication, exchange of information for betterment of life, for peace and things like that. And in fact, he visited Iran during the Shah time in the, I think, late 60s, 69 or so. But before that, now the grandpa is telling me, it said, one day I was sitting at my office in central Tehran at the headquarters for Iran trade and business. And my executive assistant came in, that was early morning, and said that there has been a call from the Imperial Court for you. And they said that they're going to call your home tomorrow. So I received the call from the Imperial Court, and on that side was a very, very respectful lady told me that you have been invited as one of the 17 guests of the Pope Paul VI to visit Vatican for 5 days as part of his plan to start an open communication with different nations. So I was so excited, the grandpa is telling me, and it was only 2 hours in the backyard of his son-in-law, his daughter place. So then they said that the invitation will come formally in a week, and the Imperial jet would be ready. They'll take you to the airport, and you guys will go to Vatican as a guest of the Pope. And that happened. So we were there in Vatican, and the second day, the bishop knocked on my door and said that tomorrow we're going to take you, the other guests, all 17 of you, to see a few things that we have here in Vatican. And yes, sure, next day at 7 a.m., knock on my door, and the Cardinal was there, and the other 16 guests, distinguished guests, 17 of us were taken by the Cardinal to an elevator. And the grandpa told me, I don't know, it took maybe 3, even 4 minutes for the elevator to go down. So it was a long journey down the earth through that elevator. And after that, when it opened in front of us, there was another world. There were treasures left and right that no one on the public side had seen it. You could not even price anything there because there was only one unique of it back to 1200 years ago, 1400 years ago, 700 years ago, paintings and statues and a lot of things, treasures, priceless. So Cardinal, with the bishop next to him, took us through each one of these one by one, explaining in a few minutes what these things are, who created them, and so forth. You know, as like a unique trophy that Vatican owns, and no one has seen it so far. Of course, in a controlled environment because of the article. Anyway, um, here we come now in front of a huge painting, and in the backyard of his daughter was a big Fravahar that was carved in stone. And under that Fravahar, there was like a furnace for cooking, probably, and so forth. It was big, probably twice the size of a uh, maybe ping pong table. So he pointed it out to me. I mean, Grandpa, this lovely philanthropist, Zoroastrian leader. I said, "You see that wall in front of us?" And I said, "That painting was the size of that, huge." And then he started explaining what the paintings is all about. So he started with the mountains, the rivers, the oceans, um, the nature by itself, all kinds of trees, and in the middle of it, and highlighted, there was picture and actually faces of several men, and he started talking about them. He said, "You see, the first one is Adam, the first prophet in the Judeo-Christianity, of course, belief, in the Abrahamic belief. The second one is Noah, and then coming down to Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad." And he was explaining who these prophets are from their point of view, how great men they were, and how much they were needed by humanity to lead the society at their time, and so forth, so forth, so forth. And then it ended, and the group went to the next one, which was a statue from Michelangelo. Again, like the one that public hasn't seen at that time. Maybe it's public now, I don't know. So I started moving with the crowd to the next masterpiece. And then suddenly, by chance, I noticed there was a face of a person alone by itself on the lower right corner of that painting. And I'm not talking about the masterpiece. It's called School of Athens. That's a different thing. This we haven't seen. He had seen it, the grandpa. So I got curious. I said, well, who is that person sitting there by itself alone? And he didn't talk about it, no explanation about it. So I dared to call Cardinal. And then Cardinal came back and said, yeah, can I help you? What, do you have a question? I said, yes, can you please step back? I have a question if you don't mind. So the Cardinal gave it to Bishop to explain the other ones. And he came to me, yes, what's your question? How can I help you? And this is a Cardinal, is a very top level executive at the Vatican. So he said, thank you for explaining all of these things. It was very clear. But I wonder, who is this one person sitting here by itself? He said, well, his name is Zarathustra. So I asked him, why didn't you talk about him? Who was he? Um, I don't know if Cardinal knew that he was Zoroastrian or not. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But you know what he said? He said, the Cardinal looked into my eyes and said, because we are afraid of him. This is coming from a Cardinal. I believe this leader. He had no reason to exaggerate or saying something like that. It was just two of us. He said, because we are afraid of him. Then I said, why you are afraid of him? Because he told people to think, to put a question mark in front of everything that is being told. And that way we cannot tolerate, because we lose control. He said, I didn't say anything, but it just was engraved in my mind. Was by Raphael, one of the great painters of all time, probably. And the School of Athens is also another masterpiece by him. In that one, some say on the lower right, one of those philosophers or leaders of the society is Zarathustra. Is it true or not? I don't know. Again, we have to question it. But the way that it is described with that ball in his hand, it may be true. It may be it's our mantra, Zarathustra. So I wanted to share these things with you guys and request each and every one of you to go back and think about it. Think about liberty. Think about freedom. Think about thought process that probably is one or maybe the only asset that each one of us has, and no one can take it away from us. You can be in jail for different reasons, whatever reason, but you still can think, question things, and be skeptical and help the progress of science at any level. Doesn't have to be a technical science or technology, social science, the same way. And to me, and again, not exaggerating, because I don't like exaggeration. We lose credibility if we exaggerate. If we just need to make one exaggeration and then people find out through skepticism that is not true, then we lose all the credibility. It's not worth it. So we have to stay factual. And if we don't know something, honestly, frankly, say we don't know. I will go and find out what's the answer. So the power of thought and critical thinking um, cannot be undermined. To me, every single progress, almost every single progress that we have made since um, industrial revolution, even before then, before that, agricultural phase and so forth, has come from ideas, and idea came from thoughts, thought-provoking um, points that were so cherished by our mantra Zarathustra thousands of years ago, maybe 3,700 years ago, more than that, I don't know. It's the value that Mother Nature, Ahura Mazda, God, whoever you believe in, has embedded in our body, and that needs to be used if the engine of it, which is skepticism, is implemented. Not just thinking for the sake of thinking, but being progressive to make things better for human. Um, Couple of points at the end. One is there are so many sources of information. In fact, we are living in an information explosion era, and the art these days, to me, is find out which one is closer to the truth. I mean, you search for something very simple, and then you get 10 million by God Google. Um, and which one has value for you? Which one has uh, truthfulness to it? It's hard to find out. It's hard to find out unless you compare it with your own mind, with your own wisdom. And even after that, it might not be correct, but at least you have done your practice. One important source that I have known to know it recently in the last, 5, 6 years, is called Big Think. Big Think. Um, and it would be good, I think, if you got Google it or do net search, whatever your search engine, on Big Think, and they have, I think, YouTube channels, and they are on social medias, and you can subscribe to their emails. I am subscribed to their emails, and there is no cost for it. There is no cost, and they share latest information, all thought provoking, from different levels of society, from technology, from science, from socials, and everything that you may find beneficial. I think I am about finishing my time. I again want to be actually grateful to California Zoroastrian Center and to public relations, their organizers, for inviting me. Um, I found it a privilege really to be among all of you, and I hope I learn from you guys now and later, and I through that process I become a better person. Thank you so much. Greetings to all of you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mehrfar. That was an amazing talk and personal at the same time. So we truly appreciate it. Um, I know I was at the Vatican some years back, and it's a treasure of art. You can't get enough, and I can't imagine going in down through that elevator to see all the other things that exist. It must have been amazing for your grandfather. Um, I'm just wondering.
Artemis, corrections. I'm sorry. God bless him. He was not my grandpa.
Oh,
I
okay.
just, yeah, for the sake of
You just
time,
refer
rather
to
than
him as.
using a long title that he had, you all probably know, the Zoroastrian know him, okay? But he's not here for me to get his permission to use his
Of
name.
course.
That's why, for simplicity and interest of time, I said grandpa. No, he was not my grandpa. One of my
Got it.
mentors. One of my
Thank
mentors.
you for clarification, for your clarification. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. And I just wanted to, I was curious, Dr. Mehrfar, thinking and being skeptic and questioning things is a big part of Zoroastrian religion. I'm wondering, do you have like a favorite mantras of Zarathustra or a favorite concept that highlights this issue?
A very good question. And I had a simple answer for it, which I just thought about it. To me, the hymns of mantra Zarathustra, the songs, his mantras, his thought provoking messages are like a beautiful garden of flowers. And each one, each flower, each hymns, each song, each message has its own profound essence, have meaning. And the amazing thing, I was going to say the magic, but we have no magic in Zoroastrian religion. There's we are we are not a prescriptive belief. We are descriptive, more like existentialism uh, thought, that we believe in what we have, what we see. On top of that, the creator, the Mazda Ahura. So I can't really pick one or two, but the one that stands out specific to this topic and what you just said, Artemis John, is listen to the words that is given. And each one of you, from a woman and a man, think and ponder upon it and choose yours wisely. This one stands out because it more correlates to the topic of being skeptical. In this hymn, our mantra Zarathustra says that don't believe even the things that I tell you. Look at that honesty and that level of maturity. I want you to question me too. It's just amazing. I think that's why a lot of intellectuals, not recently, but since like centuries ago, I don't want to throw a number, maybe from 14th century, 15th century, uh, definitely after Anquetil d'Operon, God bless him, the French guy who went to India, and God bless India basically for preserving our treasures. Maybe after him, then Martin Haag and the rest researchers. They have been fascinating, no matter what nationality, what culture they are born into. But the intellectuals have been fascinating by this one wise man, Zarathustra.
Thank you so much. He certainly has influenced a lot of great thinkers.